Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt awkward while selling? Have you ever sat there on a Zoom call and just wished and prayed that the prospect actually doesn't show up? Have you ever tried asking somebody one of those NEPQ, Jeremy Minor consequence questions and just felt like a fucking robot and then had the prospect look at you and go, why did you ask me that? Get to the point, dude. Has any of those things ever happened to you? Well, if so, I can promise you that this video will single-handedly change your life and your perspective on selling, because it actually did the exact same thing for me. As a matter of fact, a couple years ago when I first started my first ever agency, for the first few calls I booked, I would sit there and hope the prospect didn't show. I was too scared to cancel because I felt I would hurt their feelings, but I hoped they didn't show. And guess what? They didn't. And guess what? I also made no money. And selling was awkward. When people did show and I would try to ask them these weird questions that I learned from watching these YouTube gurus, I would feel like an idiot. And I would say it in such a stupid way that I would almost make myself look like an idiot, to the point where the person wouldn't want to work with me. And that sucked. And it hurt. Not only did it hurt my feelings, but it hurt my agency. I made no fucking money, which sucked. And so I had to find a solution. And so I've come to a solution. And I'm going to share it with you today. And the reason why you may feel this way, and the reason why I felt this way, is because most of us have been taught that selling is getting something. It is getting something from somebody else, or even better said, taking something from somebody else. You see, sales has been painted in our minds ever since we were born as people trying to take something from somebody else, right? These shitty car salesmen, and people always look down on us. Oh, you're a salesman. Oh, salesmen suck, and blah, 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 and this and that and that. And ever since a young age, you've been ingrained in your mind that salesmen suck. Salesmen are scammy. Salesmen, they're terrible. They just take things from people. They scam people, blah, 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 blah. Right? That's what you've been told, myself included. Right? But that's wrong. Because, actually, funny enough, the word selling, the word sell, comes from a very, very, very old English word, which comes from the word sellan, S-E-L-L-A-N, which means to give. Interesting. Sales is derived from a word that is called sellan, which means to give to somebody. You see, sales is the opposite of what we think it is. A lot of people think of sales as taking. I'm getting someone's money. When in fact, it's actually the entire opposite. It's giving something to somebody. It is giving them an experience. It is giving them education. It is giving them guidance. It is giving them implementation. It is giving them knowledge. It is giving them the opportunity to do something. You know, the best salesmen in the world, they don't look at sales as taking something, they look at sales as giving, which is why sales becomes natural, because instead of feeling like you're getting something, you're feeling like you're giving and helping. And when you feel like you're helping, you can do it endlessly. And so typical sales looks something like this. You prospect, you qualify, you present, you overcome objections, and you close. Pretty fucking simple, right? And you typically don't give value before the sale because you only give that to your clients, so you do that after the sale. You struggle to build rapport because the person doesn't really know or like you, and you're asking stupid questions. They don't even know why you're asking them in the first place. You focus on the pitch and the objections. You're focused more on the product than the prospect, and the goal is to make a sale. What the fuck even is that? A sale? What the fuck even is that? Here's the new way. I call this the VFGA way. It's a business model I created. It stands for Value First Growth Agency. If you want to learn more about it, I have a full 1 hour free course in the link down below. Anyways, we digress. So the new way looks like this. You create value. You touch lives. You build networks. You be real, and you serve people instead of selling them. And so what this looks like, instead of giving value after the sale, once they've given you money, you give value before the sale. You give first and receive later. And you give with the intent of never receiving. You give with the intent of just giving to make a change, okay? You already have a connection before the call because you're focused on delivering value first rather than after. And so the prospect comes in already knowing you, liking you, and trusting you. Makes it a lot easier to serve them and ask them questions and talk with them when somebody already likes you because you helped them out, okay? You focus on the open and the discovery, and you focus on the prospect. You're not focused on the product and what you can do and who you are and what it is that you guys do. You're focused on the prospect. You see, a lot of people are uncomfortable in sales. A lot of people say, let me ask you a question. Have you ever said, I suck at sales. I'm not built for sales. I'm not good at sales. I can't ask sales questions. I'm not this. I'm not that. But have you ever said anything like that? Ever thought anything like that? Well, if you answered yes, you fundamentally have sales painted the wrong way in your head. Seriously. Because sales isn't about you. Sales isn't about you. You know what sales is about? I imagine you could all answer this question. What is sales about? Sales is about I hope you said prospect. It's not about you. It's not about your prospect. It's not about your product. It's not about you. It's not about your capabilities. It's not about the question you ask. Sales is about the prospect, about them. And so fundamentally, if you say I suck at sales, you already have sales ingrained the wrong way, because sales isn't about you. So how could you suck at sales if sales isn't about you? When it's about the person, when it's about the prospect. You see, in the new model of sales, the goal is to focus on the prospect and who they are and what they want. The goal is to make a connection. The goal is to make change. The goal is to touch their life and to serve them rather than to sell them. Imagine how much easier sales could be if you use this new model. So much easier. And the funny thing is, this is how selling really should be. As a matter of fact, the word selling literally means, the word sell means to give. Crazy. So, if you've ever felt uncomfortable, uneasy, like not normal on a sales call or trying to sell somebody, it's because you don't understand what selling truly is. And so I encourage you to switch to the new model, the VFGA way, where you focus on the prospect, not the product, where you focus on the open instead of the close, where you focus on serving instead of selling, where you give value first rather than after. Okay? If you want to learn more about this VFGA way, which is just one way that you can do this, but like I said, free course down below. But I hope that this inspires you and shifts your paradigm of what sales truly is, because sales shouldn't be about getting. It shouldn't be. Sales should be about giving people something. It should be about giving them. Hope you enjoyed, and hope this changed your perspective on sales, because it changed mine. And now sales is a lot easier, because instead of focusing on what I want and what I'm trying to do, I focus on the prospect. And when you focus on the prospect, not only do sales become more natural, you also end up making more sales, because you're focusing on what they want, not on what you want. Peace out.